Okay, so good evening everyone. So today we will be looking at CSS selectors. Uh, so basically, before we have looked at HTML and then the basic CSS. Now the CSS selectors are different kind of stuff. Like I meant to say, for, for any uh, for any element, or for example, if you want to apply the styling only for one element, like paragraph element, or we want to apply only for heading, there can be multiple headings. And we want to apply only for H2, there can be multiple headings, right? But we want to apply only different kind of stuff. So different kind of colors to the different kinds of headings. Then we actually use CSS selectors, and there can be multiple things. We will be seeing one by one how the selectors will add color to our website, like web page. So if you see, CSS actors act like a magnets. So here, CSS selectors act like magnets in the sense, if you pick any element in a web page, then we will be telling the web page how it should look like. Uh, Again, there are multiple H2 headings. If I want the first heading to be black, or the other headings to be in different colors, maybe I can use red, yellow. We will be adding the specific colors to the specific kind of stuff, like headings. But how we will be identifying that? Because we should identify, if we give the H2, H2, we can't identify it, right? H2, H2, and we are giving only what is the first heading name, what is the second heading name, what is the third heading. So how we can identify is, like, we can actually provide ID for that headings, and then we can define that ID in that CSS, so that it will automatically apply to our the HTML page. So there are multiple CSS selectors. The first thing is like by element name. For example, in this, if we take just this HTML page, where we have H1 heading, and then there is a paragraph. So we are applying styling for whole paragraph element. So this is like by element wise. So whenever you define any other paragraph also using the paragraph tags, then all this styling what we applied, it will applicable to all the paragraph elements on the web page. Similarly, the second one is like by ID. So it is like a unique thing. So as I said, if there are multiple H2s headings, so for example, this is a special heading, and then there is another tag after some paragraph, and there is another H2 heading. If there is another ID, we can specify that another heading underscore one, something like that. And by defining this ID specific to that ID, if I want for this, I have defined the special ID. So it should be underline and background color is light green. Next, we can define another styling in the CSS property, and then we can say that it is the different heading will have different color depending on the ID tag what we define. So these are actually basic simple selectors. So we will be focusing on mainly on simple selectors only. So, and then this is one of the, again, very important kind of stuff. Uh, so if you want some paragraph to be like few paragraphs should have some color, and few other paragraphs should have some other color. So it's like grouping. So grouping by a label. So whenever we define a class equal to something like this, then what we are doing is like we are actually defining that paragraph elements should refer to this class. So the class should be wherever we define this class, it should be red, font weight it should be bold. So we are defining the styles, like the text color should be red and the font weight should be bold. If we observe the difference, so here in the CSS we are defining directly the paragraph element, but when you are defining an ID, then we are using actually hash for special heading. So when defining ID, we should be referring should add hash, but when we are defining via class, then we should use the dot notice. Then this is again I meant to say future I meant to say the total uh, we as of now we don't use in our program, like I mean in our course we won't be using this much descendant tags like div tags, but it is good to know. So whenever there is a nested elements, we can use the same thing. So this is like in the container we can define a paragraph, and we can define how the container should look like, and the paragraph inside the container how the paragraph should look. So here the class they have defined the class, so we can actually define dot class also, but again the container is like because it's a nested element, so inside the div tag there is a paragraph tag also. So we have defined the both the container paragraph and how it will be. So this is like combinator selectors. So and the same thing like elements we can directly give the elements, so an ordered list. So we are already seen what is an ordered list. Ordered list. The same thing. It's like style dot none margin. So list style how we need to define. It's like bullets, or we can also just like this. We can define the styles also in the CSS. So the elements will be automatically like that. So it's like child element thing. Again, there is some siblings like spanning. I meant to say we can actually uh, uh, there should be plus tag. We can actually open that a spanning class like a span. I meant to say. So whenever we point on that element, it will show us something like that, the spanning. So we can actually define that also, like the font size. So this is very high level for web development. If you want, I mean to say, if you want totally on the front end development, we need to know all this. But we are mainly focusing on only the simple select. And again, this hover, how the hover should be whenever we take the elements near to the, so the web elements, how it should be, how we can actually, uh, whenever we take that to a hyperlink, we can actually remove underline something like that. So even if we take the element like button, whenever we take our whenever we click that, the button should change its color to green or something like that. We can define also in CS. And again, this attribute, like we can actually define the image or any other like uh, I mean to say yeah, for example, like specific attributes like list elements. For example, we can define the specific list element also here. And we are actually defining this border and the border shadow. RGB, how the photo should be there, how much pixels it should be, how it will be. Something like this we can using the attribute select. So now let's go to our main for today. So here, for example, we are having one CSS HTML, so we need to apply styles whatever we learned today. So now it is like, so there are multiple steps. There are one, two, three, four, five. So we will go step by step. So whenever we do a live view, so as of now we haven't applied. I think I have applied for one thing. So whenever I remove this, so this is like CSS selectors applying CSS to different parts of HTML. So this is a general HTML skeleton where we have H1 heading and H2 like the second H2 heading, and then we have one paragraph tag, and then there is an ordered list. And the in ordered list we have all the list elements defined. So now let me close this. So now what we need to do, we need to set the CSS for all paragraphs. So already we have seen how we will be setting. So maximum of the time we will be using external styling. So we create one style.css, and it should be inside this wherever the index.html is there. It should, the path should also refer to the same level. Because as of now we are linking style sheets and we are giving uh, uh, like a relative path, or otherwise we need to define the absolute path here. We are linking the style sheet using one now. The first example to do is like create CSS for all paragraph. So let's see what is the goal we have to. So we need to bring this web page to this like this, like with colors, different colors, and it should be aligned to center. So so we need to apply paragraph color equal to red. So what I will do, I will go to this, the style.css, and I will be applying paragraph. So if I refer to my PPT, I have applied something this kind of stuff like font media, like simple selector by element name. So for paragraph element we are applying this one. So now I go back and just see the preview. It's okay. Okay. Sorry, I have completed double quotes. So for paragraph element, now it got applied. So the next thing is like we will go to the next step to do set the CSS for all elements with a class of node 10 to a font size 20 pixels. So here we have list elements with class node. So, so how we will be doing that? Just I'm referring my PPT again. So I will be taking something like this. So for dot highlight, so now I will go back again, dot node. So for where class node, we should set the font size to 20 pixels. Now if you carefully observe now, all the this thing was set. So if I remove it again, now the font size is went to by default normal. So when I kept it, it's actually going. So here we define all the paragraph, even paragraph in the having class. So we are grouping all that whatever we require. We're grouping all the list element and paragraph element also to have font size to 20 pixels. Now we have to now it's time for ID. So when I go back to my PPT, so now how we will be defining the IDs? So with using hash annotation. So now because they have defined only ID here, but we can define for all the elements if you want we can define, but only for just for demo purpose they have given ID demo. ID demo what we need to do, we need to give the color to green. So when I given now if you see it is actually giving to green. So again I'm going back. So now the fourth step is like the attribute select. Now the attribute selector with value set to 4, we should have a color blue. So so why we have set this values like from 2? So if you go to the MDN docs like Mozilla Firefox docs, Mozilla docs. So by default it will start from the list will start from 1. But if we want to start our list from 2 or we can give our own number, then this attribute it is having, so we can give our own attribute thing. So it will be, because if you observe element here is paragraph, not a ordered list element, but all others are list elements. So now I will be defining thing, the list element where it is. So the last I said, right? So how we define the attribute is like, let's see. image. Okay. So what is that element? List element. In this, the value equal to 4, and then we are opening our styling braces. And what we need to do, we have to give the color to blue. Change. This is able to see the change. So the value set to 4, value is 4, and it is listed. Yeah, there is no errors also. Then but why it is on? Yeah, this time checking. Okay. Yeah, this is, we have to define it in string, integer value. Okay, because they have defined in the string itself, so in the HTML, where value equal to, if they define kind of integer, then it will. So that's why our value didn't, so it unable to check if the value is equal to string 4 or int 4. So now the universal, the last thing, so set all elements to have text element to center. So it's like whatever all the elements, so whatever we defined, all the tags, all the HTML elements, we should align it in center. So how we will be doing is like, it's the star notation. Mm, so it's so when I just go to the goal, check, we are able to, yeah. So we have aligned all the, so if you carefully observe, it's like exactly what our goal is, like 1, 2, and 3, like 4, and the fifth is like here. Depending on the text values, actually the elements differs. So, so we have achieved our goal successfully. So yeah. So we haven't changed anything in the HTML. We have changed everything in the style.css. So using the different types of CSS selectors. So this is how we actually style our pages using CSS selectors. Yeah. So you can go through different example we have used on the attribute thing. Yeah. For any web page, you can go to the web page and open. That's something like. You can directly press F2. You can actually go to more tools and developer tools. You can check any like inside head and body. Or maximum of the time they will be div. You can just view page source. There are multiple HTML elements we define. So, but to see the CSS, it's the best place. For example, like I just want any colors. So, so it's like for H3 what font says, for example, as of now, it is not plain, but just I'm seeing for all the list elements, text align should be matching with the webkit match pattern. Yeah. So yeah. So we can actually check for all the elements here. So you can try with any web page. You can open and you can just try to check how the styles are defined.